Hello and welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now a compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to like or dislike the video as you see fit, so feel free to hit those buttons. Feel free to comment below, and I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel and hit your notification bell for more content as it is released. You're also free to share my videos as much as you like, because the purpose of this channel is educational in regards to atheist and deconversion issues and any issues related to those issues. A hearty shout out to the Rabyd Nation. Join the nation by hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel in a more tangible way, hit your join button, and your membership options for citizenship in the Rabyd Nation will be presented to you. Today I want to continue on in my deconstructing series of videos that I do with deconstructing spiritual disciplines. This is part 2. And I want to tackle the subject of, can an atheist meditate? There's a lot of spiritual practices. I'm using Richard Foster's Celebration of Discipline list of spiritual practices that people can do in Christianity, but a lot of these practices are in other religions, and there's probably no more universal practice among all religions and spiritual beliefs than meditation. I don't know too many that don't look at meditation in some positive form or some way of getting it into their spiritual practices. But the question is, for those of us deconstructing, is meditation really all that spiritual? Okay, is there something that we can pull out of it? Now, when you look at meditation from a spiritual religious context, it's about more calming one's mind in order to connect to the divine or spiritual forces. It's about placing yourself into a position where you can hear from God, or get some sort of revelation of some sort, something like that. In other forms of meditation, it's more about emptying the mind to become one with the universe, getting a hold of a spiritual guide or some sort of other force. Being one with the universe, having the state of perfect nothingness, all that stuff, nirvana, all the meditative tropes are active here, I suppose. And as a Christian, I remember meditating for several purposes. Like one, I would be meditating on a passage of scripture, trying to understand it better. There would be other times that I would meditate simply to hear from God, just sitting there, being quiet, letting God speak. And I'll talk more about prayer, what I think God speaking to us is, next week. But meditation was much more about listening than it was speaking. And so I guess I developed a spiritual idea back then when I was a Christian. Meditation was about listening to God, and prayer was about talking to God. And so that's kind of where I was. Now, because this is such a universal practice, when people get rid of spiritual beliefs and beliefs in God, the question that can always be asked, is there something else to this? Okay, because the big question we ask when we deconstruct is, what did all these spiritual practices tap into? What were they doing? What is it that was real that religion or being spiritual, quote unquote, what was that all doing? What was that really tapping into that's reality? I mean, as an atheist, I'm very conscious of scientific reality. I'm conscious of, the material real world that I can prove exists, rather than this make-believe one. So what does meditation do? And you end up going to a lot of neuroscience and psychology to get the answer to that question. But the question is, so is there any value to this? Can I hold on to something like this? Because remember, when we use our deconstruction, reconstruction analogy here, we're trying to look at things that we used to do in religion and seeing what was the real thing that was going on there. What was the real value with that? Let's keep that and get rid of all the woo and nonsense, okay, and keep the stuff. So when it comes to meditation, has science discovered things? Well, I'm going to leave that to your own research, but it doesn't take very long before you get a lot of scientific studies on meditation where people have been hooked up to brainwave scanners, things like that. They've been, they've done full scans while somebody has been meditating. It's just one of these great things where you can really see what happens inside the human brain when somebody is meditating, and it's actually a fairly easy study to do. And the thing that we've really learned through neuroscience is that meditation really is a deliberate form of creating neuroplasticity. In other words, neuroplasticity is when you're growing up and learning, your brain is open to all kinds of new neural paths. Okay, but the older you get, your neuroplasticity starts to drop because you have all these other circuitries that have already been formed, all these habits that have been developed, and so your brain just fires its synapses in certain ways. And as you get older, that gets more and more ingrained in you. There's not a lot of ways to get out of it. But meditation has been shown to have somewhat of an effect of increasing neuroplasticity and rewiring your brain, quite literally, is what one scientist put it. He said, you can rewire your brain a little bit. It also has a calming effect. So for people that suffer from anxiety, who just relax, focus, get rid of distraction and start thinking about certain things, they can reduce their anxiety, shown to reduce depression. It also, if you have trouble focusing, if you're like ADHD, ADD, and all that, you can really learn how to focus through meditation. Okay, you can learn how to rewire your brain a little bit or other areas of your brain to help you focus better. I even saw a study on pain management, but the conclusion was that the pain level in a person who meditates doesn't necessarily drop, but people who meditate have a better capacity to deal with the pain. Okay, that they have a better attitude about it, and they can function a little bit better with the pain because of their ability to meditate. So when you look at it, and I'm scratching the surface here. There's a lot of stuff that can be said about meditation that has been proven scientifically. So if we discard the deity, spiritual woo parts, meditation can be an exercise of calming the mind, focusing on certain thoughts, and kind of rewiring the way you think about things. And so from my perspective of all the spiritual disciplines, I think we'll see this with a lot of them, this one on a personal level and on the closest to home level can really have a lot of benefit, even in deconstruction. What do I mean by that? Well, I've used meditation a lot of times where I feel like, I'm thinking a certain way because of my religion. But then I go back and I say, okay, well, I'm going to sit down and kind of rethink this. What should I think about this issue? I remember I did a lot of meditation when I was, getting over some of my bigotry and thoughts about like LGBTQ, people of other religions. And, I started to drop, the cultural difference issues also. I started to drop this, American exclusivism and American Christian nationalism thoughts that I would have. Well, now, I would stop, rethink about it, meditate about it. And the process of calming myself down, getting my place to a place of focus, and then rethinking the issue became more prevalent in my life. I think the difference for me in meditation in the past meditation I was very passive. I was just letting God talk, or I had a passage of scripture and I wanted enlightenment. Now I'm more active with meditation. I calm my mind down, focus. Okay, what should I think here about this issue? And let's think about this issue. It's more about focusing one's thoughts for me and rewiring my brain a little bit. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. The benefits of meditation in the sense of neuroscience and neuroplasticity are there for everybody. Okay, and so the technique to me has always been to sit down, calm my mind, focus on what I want to focus on, and keep my thoughts there for at least 5 minutes. And when you do that, anybody can do that, really. It doesn't take much effort. You have tapped into what the actual benefit of meditation is. Now, how did this used to fool us? Well, meditation used to put us in a state of mind where we were receptive. It has its downfall is that it is receptive, it allows a receptivity to anything. And so if you're in a religious context and you're meditating, you start to connect all these good things that are happening through meditation, the calming, the lack of depression, with a deity, a God, or spiritualism, and you think that it's these spiritual beliefs that are actually affecting you, but it's really not that at all. It's the neuroscience stuff. And so what you can do with meditation is use it as a tool to help you deconstruct. If you're really having trouble with certain thoughts still dominating the way you think about certain issues, this is a good way to just take 5 minutes every day. Tom, calm down. I don't need to hate LGBTQ people. I don't need to hate people of other religions. I don't, that's the way I used it a lot for a while. I also used it a lot to meditate on human virtues. I still do that. And sometimes I just need to calm down. I have high functioning anxiety and depression probably because of the autism, but it allows me to refocus my thoughts and get over that a little bit more, maybe rewire my brain. Even though I'm an older person, I can still use this to help rewire my brain. And it gives me a large tool to cope and deal with other things. But I don't have to connect with the religious aspects anymore, and that's the trick, okay? Because what it used to tap into is making us believe in this religious stuff was the reason that we were meditating. But we don't need to believe that anymore. And it can be a useful tool in deconstruction because it's very good at rewiring our brain. So all in all, I think an atheist can meditate. And I would recommend, if you're deconstructing, this is one of the spiritual practices you can keep, okay? You don't have to give this one up. It's not really all that spiritual, but it's more spiritual than what an atheist would consider spiritual. Our brains, rewiring them, getting into a better state of mind, dealing with all the anxiety and depression that were caused by our religion. This is a good tool to fight that. Unless you really are connected with meditation and something abusive, even then, I would say this is one of the few practices you can keep. But, I'm always interested in people's responses in the comments. So, I would be interested in anybody else's thoughts. If you have any questions or things, drop them in the comments too. I'm no expert on neuroscience or any of that, so look that stuff up. I just know what has worked for me. And this is one of the parts of my old house that I've been able to, it's a piece of furniture that I've been able to just basically pick up and move into my new place, okay, from a reconstruction standpoint. So you can deconstruct all this, give it a new upholstery, give it a new look, but it's not, you don't have to change it all that much. You just have to get rid of the woo and the spiritualism and the getting a hold of God sort of thing, and just say, no, I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my benefit. I'm doing this to rewire my thoughts into something better and more positive and get away from all the religious abuse and nonsense and try to get into a better frame of mind. And I think, yes, an atheist can meditate. I guess we'll find out if an atheist can pray next week. But that's it for this time. Like, share, subscribe. I'm very interested in your comments about meditation, so put those down in there. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by, as always. And as always, remember to live your best life. You only get one go-around, and then it's over. And so you want to give all your time, money, energy to the things that will benefit you, the people around you that you love and care for, and to make this a better world. And don't give them to the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.